3/5 of the Yankees starting rotation featured in this game as Joe Girardi played it like the 7th game of the World Series, right, Joe?
I did. Well, I knew you were broadcasting today's game, so I figured I'd give you something to talk about.
All right, let's talk about Tanaka. What did you think? Obviously, I wouldn't say obviously, but you would think that he had butterflies.
Oh, I would think so. I mean, if he didn't, then we know he's not human. So maybe that's how you go 24-0. But I'm sure he did. I like the command of his fastball, and I like this split. You know, he tried to mix in a few curveballs. It's not a pitch that he throws a lot, but it's a feeling pitch, and I like the idea of him mixing in. So I was really pleased. He was also down, and I think that's important in spring training as you develop arm strength. You know, I saw it from CC, I saw it from Hero. I was very happy with the location of our pitches today.
How about his demeanor, Joe? He seems like he's very solid and very chill. Is that what you get from him?
That's what I've sensed. There doesn't seem to be a lot that phases him.
Broken bat, line drive, caught by Marusak for the first out. So Bobby Abreu breaks his bat.
Well, we love those one-pitch outs, but I know you don't, but we do. But I think his demeanor is really good. I think he's handled all this really well so far. You know, there's a lot of attention on him. I mean, when he walks in the morning, there's 10 people snapping his picture in the tunnel. But I think he's handled it well, and he's got to know some of the guys, and the guys have been, talking to him, and it's worked pretty well so far.
Dellin Betances on the mound for the Yankees right now. Hard-throwing right-hander. And he deals to Darren Ruff. Deals a strike. All right, let's go backwards then. Kuroda looked outstanding. I guess he had to throw some extra pitches in the bullpen, right?
Yeah. In a normal day, you might let him go 3 innings. But because Tanaka had started warming up, we didn't want to delay his and mess him up. So we just had him throw a few more. I think he only threw about 19 pitches today in the game. And I thought he was extremely sharp. As I said, I thought all 3 of them were.
Ground ball in the hole. Diving stop there by Dean Anna. The long throw. Got him. Oh, what a play by Dean Anna. Joe, I've heard a lot of good things about Anna, who came over from the Padres in a deal. What do you think of him?
Yeah, I mean, he has the ability to play all over the place. We like him. He's a guy that really works the count and at bats, and he can hit. So he's played really well, and we're going to have a lot of competition here at these couple infield spots, extra infield spots, but he's played extremely well so far.
And that might be the play of the spring thus far in the infield.
Yeah, it might be. We have a sponsor for that, don't we?
We will now.
Eventually.
Cody Ashe takes up and away. Joe, the only pitcher that's competing for a starting job, as far as I can tell, that we haven't seen is Michael Pineda, and he's going to pitch tomorrow in a simulated game?
He's going to pitch in a simulated game, and then his next game will be a real game. All these starters will pitch in a simulated game at some point. It's a way to build them up. It's a way to go build it up without necessarily having a real long inning. So his first one will be a simulated game, and then he'll be back out on the hill.
What have you liked so far that you've seen from him?
I like the way the ball's come out of his hand. I think it's come out very well so far. We've been very pleased with his bullpens, his batting practices, and he just looks different than when we got him, and it's kind of exciting.
Fouled away. Joe, very quickly before this out is made, there's a lot of talk about either Tanaka pitching Game 3 of the season in Houston or Game 4 in Toronto. Is there a method there? Would you want to split up Tanaka and Kuroda because they're similar?
Well, you think about always, giving a different look every day. I think you just have to iron it out and see how spring goes and how it goes for everyone before we determine exactly what the rotation is. We have an idea of what it's going to be. I mean, we haven't mapped out what it's going to be, but it could be subject to change depending on what happens. But you do like to give a different look every day.
And by pitching all 3 today, that gives you the maneuverability to place them where you want.
Yes, and it also gives us the ability.
Ground ball to Anna. He drops it. So after we said such nice things, he picks up an E6.
So it also gives us the ability to spread Tanaka out so he doesn't have to go every 5th day, in a sense, as time goes on here. And we thought that was important.
Now, do you want to work him into the once every 5 days situation because of what happened in Japan with once every 7?
We will sometimes. And then there are other times we might give him an extra day. And until we actually go through it, I can't tell you exactly how it's going to happen, but it gives us the flexibility to do that.
Joe, the last 2 years, Kuroda has really pitched differently in his final 8 starts. Looks like he's been fatigued. Is there any plan to try to stave that off?
You know, I mean, we'll watch him carefully like we always do. I mean, it's not a guy that, you know, we push to 120 pitches. We try to limit him around 100, 110 at the most. But it's, you know, if we have to make an adjustment in the middle of the season, we will. That's just something that we'll have to try to plan, and sometimes the season dictates that.
Ground ball to third. Solarte with a nice play, and that will do it. Joe, great to talk to you as always. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys.